Let me start off by saying good afternoon. Good afternoon. Come on, say it like you're motivated. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It is raining, but I know we're not that tired. Listen, I'm so excited to be here. I came fresh off the road from Norman down Highway 35, and I thank Dr. Lana Turner Addison, Dr. Pauline Harris, State Representative Kevin Matthews, Ms. Darlene Curl, Dr. Keith Ballard, and the other dignitaries that are here today. Let me just put this plug in here about Dr. Keith Ballard. When I graduated from Central High School about 3 years ago, I was a recipient from of the Superintendent's Award. And I still remember receiving this glass plaque that Dr. Ballard gave me and a check for $1,000 to go to my education, and that was spent that day, but I still have that plaque. Invited my parents and I to a dinner at the Gilcrease Hills Museum, and so I'm appreciative to all Dr. Ballard has done. And so my family is here, my parents are here, my dad and my mom, Dr. Bertrand Bailey Sr., Mrs. Wanda Bailey Sr., Mrs. Wanda Bailey, excuse me, if y'all would raise your those hands, wave it. Yeah. 2 years ago, I was here speaking in Teddy, and my father was inside the hospital in Oklahoma City. But look what God has done. Amen. What God has done. My sister is here from North Carolina, BerThaddaeus Bailey. And so I'm so glad to see her. My other sister, BerThaddaeus Bailey, is here, and so I'm glad to see her also. My Uncle Melvin was here 2 years ago when I said the speech and told me I talk too much, and so if this is short, then it's because of him. He's in need of your prayers, and so we would pray with him for him. But you can feel free to talk back to me today. I like this, our theme, working together to build a brighter future. Parents, we're all in this together, making education work. I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity to be a part of such an essential movement. I'm honored, but at the same time, I must admit, I am disappointed. I'm disappointed in the fact that 60 years after the momentous decision in Brown versus Board of Education, these types of initiatives are still needed to address inequities throughout our community. I'm disappointed. While many believe that inequality is a subject of the past, statistics show that it is penetrating through the fabric of our society today. And I do mean to alert you, we are in a state of emergency. The Department of Education recently revealed that while African Americans comprise merely 18% of students in public education, they represent 35% of all suspensions and 39% of all expulsions. We are in a state of emergency. Inner city schools with deep minority concentrations have become headquarters for education inequalities. These schools are more likely to have less experienced or first-year teachers. These schools are more likely to have decrepit facilities and dilapidated textbooks. These schools are more likely to lack college preparatory programs and advanced courses. We are in a state of emergency. In America, more than a quarter of students will drop out of high school. We're in a state of emergency. Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain. Oklahoma is one of only 5 states in the nation that still spends less than $3,000 per student. Since 2008, we have decreased our spending on education by 23%. We're in a state of emergency. Help me tell somebody sitting next to you, we're in a state of emergency. It is a shameful fact that we have gotten to the point where we allocate more resources for prisoners behind bars in orange jumpsuits than we do students behind desks in neatly tucked in uniforms. We're in a state of emergency. While 82% of students from wealthy families scoring a 1200 on the SAT will go on to complete college, only 44% of students from low-income families scoring the same thing will complete college. We're in a state. Despite these many troubling statistics, I highly doubt that I was invited here to state the obvious. Instead, I'm here to propose a solution and an alternative to this detrimental status quo. Yes. We are past pointing fingers. That's right. We as a community, we as parents have got to share in the responsibility of our crumbling educational system. It is time that we realize that pointing fingers doesn't solve problems. But look, we've justly pointed our finger at Governor Mary Fallin for cutting funding to education. We pointed to local districts for receiving low grades on school report cards. We pointed at principals for sending disruptive children home. We pointed at teachers for their seemingly unskilled management of classrooms. We pointed at gangs for occupying our children. We've pointed at drugs for quote-unquote satisfying our children. We've even pointed at athletics for disturbing our children, and yet we have not pointed at ourselves for neglecting our children.
Yes, absolutely.
Like the king of pop, Michael Jackson, we should have started with the man in the mirror, asking him or her to make a change. Because no message could be any clearer. If we want to make this world a better place, we should take a look at ourselves and make that change. An author recently said, as it relates to the flaws in our educational system today, we are one of the biggest problems. And yet, we are the greatest solution. You should breathe a sigh of relief. Although we are one of the biggest problems, we are the greatest solution. Parents must accept their role as primary homeschool teachers to become less dependent on the system and more focused on the student. This may require a reevaluation of priorities. It will require, however, personal investments of time, energy, and finances. Let me put this pinpoint right here on finances. Let me do it because I don't know how we got here, but budgeting hundreds of dollars for Jordan sneakers and name brand clothing conveys a message that values fashion over our children's future. And that's a problem. He has on Jordans, but he can't read. She has on Nike, but she's struggling in math and science. We're valuing fashion over our children's future. Effective immediately. This is terminology that's used in emergency circumstances. Effective immediately. We have got to begin mentorship and tutoring programs to model the value of education. Students have got to see the value in education. I don't know much about each of you individually, but I do know this. You wouldn't buy a car that you saw no value in. You would invest your money in a house that you saw no value in. You would invest in stock that had no value. We've got to show our students the value in education. And we do this by modeling this through tutoring and mentorship programs. I spoke with a gentleman before this event who told me that he's retired from Tulsa Public Schools, but he's doing tutoring in all these schools around TPS, and I commend that. I truly commend that. We've got to value. We've got to stay in the know about our children's academic progress by joining organizations such as PTSAs. Research has shown that there has been a drastic decline in membership in organizations such as PTSAs. Correlated with that drastic decline is a drastic decline in student performance in academics. Now, have you ever wondered why it's PTSA and not TPSA? Parent Teacher Student Association. Parents, you play the primary role. You are homeschool teachers. Well, then we have to expect the best and only accept the best from our children. One of the things I say about my parents, my friends often make jokes about me being the last of 11, saying that, my parents had a school of their own, which is true. They not only expected the best, they only accepted the best. I go around campus oftentimes to different organizations and different organizations around the community, and I tell them, I said, oftentimes I scored an 88 on a project inside high school. And that was okay. My parents praised me. They congratulated me for it. But you better believe on the next project they expected an 89, a 90, a 91, or something above an 88. Yes. Yesterday's success has no bearing on today's. Expect the best and only accept the best. Tell them sometimes often, I've never to this day owned a pair of Jordans. I can do you one better than that. I've never put one on. And then, part of it, I can't afford it. That's one part of it. But another part is, that's not a priority for me. I've 21 years, I've graduated from high school. I'm trying my best at the University of Oklahoma. It's hard, I tell you that. But that's not a priority of mine. I have aspirations to do great things throughout our community. So we have to expect the best and only accept the best. This last point, I'm going to let you go. My uncle told me I talk too much. Last point is Tuesday, November 4th. This is why it's so important. Register vote. Know the issues and vote. Yes. 3 aspects of a problem that's equally important. Register to vote. Know the issues and vote. Listen, registering to vote is not important if you don't vote. That's right. Knowing the issues is not important if you're not registered. Voting doesn't do us no good if you don't know the issues. We have no business voting for candidates that want to cut more from education. Yes, we have no business voting for candidates that does not have a plan for our children. Know the issues and vote. I am finished. I'm concluding. I'm done, Uncle Melvin. But I want to say to you all, I want to encourage all of you who work in the school system, Tulsa Public Schools, those who mentor, you play a significant role. And I want to thank all of you. I wouldn't be wherever I am right now, without your contributions. North Tulsa, Tulsa TPS, Central High School, my principal from Central just texted me and told me he wished he could be here. And so you all play a significant role. I tell you, and I tell this, and I don't tell this with any shame, but at the University of Oklahoma, the 4th week into the University of Oklahoma, I was doing so bad. I had an ELF in American Federal Government, political science course, which is my major, and I had an ELF in philosophy. And I really contemplated, what would be the next step. If I was transferring to another school, if I was going to drop out, what I should do. Tell you, I received an email, and I tell you this, and it's not fabricated at all, but I received an email from a guy here in Tulsa, Trey Moore, who is a representative for the University of Oklahoma, a Tulsa representative. He said, Bailey, I'm just emailing you to encourage you that we in Tulsa are counting on you. Right. That same day. Now watch this. That same day he sends me the email. In the conclusion of that email, he says, now you need to go to an office on campus. There's a lady waiting for you. And I go to that office. It turns out that Mr. Trey Moore had recommended me for the second largest scholarship at the University of Oklahoma. $38,000, paid 4 years of tuition in 1 minute. And that reminded me that there are those who believe in me, there are those who support me, and I finished both of those classes with an A.
Oh, yeah.
So I just want to say thank you so much. Keep up the good work. I know I'm young telling you to keep up the good work. Keep up the good work that you're doing. Become more, and let's get more involved in our students' lives, and we can make a difference. Thank you so much.
All right, it's time to eat, y'all.